And we're on that possibly final episode. All aboard for the end games here of Max Chaos. And to make certain that everybody understands, I did not just throw in the towel on Max. We are going to take and pause the game and attempt to see if there's anything else still in the barns, anywhere else that we can dispatch to try to make some money. So it's that time. There it is. Let's go to the barns. We got one vehicle stored here. What do we got? Train. Yeah. Sell him. Let's get some money. Most of the rest are at no vehicles, so there's no vehicles to dispatch. The best we can do at this point is look at the vehicle list, settings, special filter, obsolete, close it, go to road, because that's where I think it's going to be the most important. Income, biggest losers. We got some megahertz buses, but I really don't want to pull the megahertz buses unless they're full up. So like the Ashlock circulator bus might be a good one to take and think about. Let's take a peek at his numbers and his charting. And he's in a zone where we could technically throw it out. So let's go over to Ashlock. Hit Old Scratch Barn. Oh, no, that's not Old Scratch Barn. That's Chaotic. So we're coming out of Chaotic Barn. We're going to grab circulator bus. Why do we have a megahertz on it? Buy two of those. Tell him to retire. And we're just going to put both of these guys onto the circulator. Bring up that finance window. We're watching it. We're deep in the hole. The question is, can we turn things around? It's April. I don't think so. Company is bankrupt unless some miracle happens in the next 10 days. I do not see a monthly op profit getting up to positive territory where it's got to get get us back out. Nothing's been, the closest we've come to positive territory, there it is. Bankrupt. We have lost. This is episode 79 in the Max Chaos, Devil's Tower 1969 Max Chaos game. We have gone bankrupt. Total failure on everything but the style points for did we achieve the chaos we were after. So the question now becomes, for that 1 point in the comparison video later tonight, we will talk about which maps got it. We'll do an individual comparison for each game and then a comparison of the two games to show the point at which all was lost. We have lost. It is that simple. I'm going to do a save point. (2016). 16, not 26. There's our save point map. Ladies and gentlemen, Max Chaos has come to an end. I'm going to take finish out the video time we have looking over what our routing looked like. And first things first, let's go ahead and turn off all those. We had chaos. There's very little open space. It was getting hard to route things in and around. Sorry, I just got told by my landlord that we're not doing the work today because he's laid up. He's limping as bad as I am. And that video where you heard me suddenly say, hey, yelling, hey, are you all right? Was because he yelled, oh, hell, instead of, oh, help. I thought he yelled help. He couldn't stop sneezing was all. But at the same time, his allergies are acting up, kicking him in. His ankles are too swollen and he's limping on them. So we're both out for physical labor today, which is what it was supposed to be. So I'll be gaming, discussing the wrap here on the Max Chaos and Fix-It games. We will let the poll run till Sunday. Tomorrow will now be Pack 128 and those kind of games. Malifield is a total disaster. Even worse than the other games. Pretty certain so. Take a look. The knot is just as bad, if not worse. Because we started doing pulls off the side and added in a station that we never did before. This became a total time killer in dispatch. Same here on Malifield Station. Terrifying. I'm leaving the bankrupt up so that it is obvious. We're going to pause so that it doesn't fade away, because it will fade away at a certain point. The airport, with that big horseshoe to take and do what we should have done. All sorts of ways we could have done this differently. The dispatch line could have been taken over. Things that we all could have seen coming. Too many tunnels. Too many bridges. Too many long, expensive bridges. I mean, like this one had to be that width, or did it? There was room had we shifted over one more. But because of the bridging here, we couldn't. So it was poor decisions all along. Industry growth bit us hard. Our dispatch was never really centralized. This is why I want to do a hub and spoke game, where I've got feeder lines going into main hubs and then main lines in between the hubs. Somewhere down the road, see if those actually work better. And by feeder, I don't mean just rail. I mean a lot of road feeders to see down the road what we can do. And that's what the tutorial is going to explore as well. I think we've explored as far as we can in the Chaos Zone, on this map at least, without expanding the map. And yes, remember, we could have expanded the map. We could have streamlined things. As it is, I bent the rules. I did double track, or not double track, but run same track in a couple of spots because there was no other choice. This bridge, terribly expensive. Long term, we should have done the fills, at least extended the footings, things like that. But no, that's not part of Chaos, and Chaos paid a terrible price. Just horrid things I did. And yet at the same time, it was all in the name of the Chaos. And the Chaos is where we're at. We wound up with May 1, 2.6 million in the hole. Total financials. Let's go over it. Cash flow during the month of May, which is the month that forced us into bankruptcy. We are at net wealth less than half a million in the hole. Yeah. Wise decision by the banks to close us down. Yes, technically you're supposed to put 3 more zeros behind everything on here. Many, many stations that really just were laid out poorly. Many, many places. I mean, just like I said, too many tunnels, too many bridges, too long of a stretch of elevated in several spots. Why did we leave it elevated for as far as we did on the monorail? Why didn't we elevate everybody or dig everybody else under? All because of the chaos plan that you cannot reroute a route once it's laid. Does make it more difficult. Does make it crazier. Of course, our ferries didn't help. The canals didn't help. They wound up losing a lot of money, and yet the ships did pretty good. Total breakdown, financial breakdown. Let's do that financial breakdown here. Power lines was always in the negative. We didn't consolidate our power lines, didn't do anything. It was just connect. Power should be a revenue source early on and even later in the game. Should become one. Part of it is we didn't get the big power generator spots that we could serve, the coal-fired power plants, because of the type of map with only the one body of water, no rivers. Well, 2 bodies of water, no rivers. It's really just not that good of a map for the canal. We were spending $8,800 on the corporate headquarters and other materials. Yes, we're going to do an exploration of what counts as other down the road. I'm going to set one for 2000 and see what we can find that costs us that money. How much money? The whole 9 yards. Sorry, I just tried to rock the chair back and forth, and that's not a good thing to do with the bad leg. It's now screaming in bloody murder. Side to side rotation is not there. Airlines should be a profit-making center. Never were for us. Part of it was the way we have it. It's a small map. Really, there's only one big city early on. The cluster of cities that was served at the Renton Airport just wasn't enough to take and make it profitable. And I had to run them at 20 to 30, 50% because otherwise they just weren't doing it. Yes, could have played with those percentages, seen what we could have done. Maybe Max might have had a chance. But we were so dedicated to making maximum chaos. Trams. The trams actually were making money. Those little combinos, once we put them out there, the speed trolleys made us money. That was a beautiful spot towards it. And look at that. You're on the 7th. You've already covered op cost and maintenance, and you're making profit by the 7th. That's a good sign. That is a really good sign that setup would work down the road. And in the future, don't be surprised if I do another Max Chaos and I go Combino and run those Combinos to make them speed trolleys. Next up, monorail. Monorail, constant loser, but not as big as I thought. Its peak loss was $77,000. It was running in the 70s down, occasionally the 50s and 60s. So 50 to 70 was its op range from right after we deployed it and got it all the way up and running. So that's really, for the chaos it created, it was a good investment. Ships had their deep nadir before we switched out and got rid of things. This is about the point where we've fired Captain Nemo for his run right there. That right there brought it up into a range that we weren't losing as much. The ferry was the big loser. And we'll look at that here in a moment. Trains. This is wrong. Trains are supposed to be where you make the money. Moving the cargo, moving the passengers. We were losing 2.2 million just on trains. Some of it was wrong trains, wrong types of trains, wrong size of trains, but most of it is that maintenance cost. $5 million a year. You can't overcome a maintenance cost like that. You have to have somewhat better flow. Reduce the number of bridges, reduce the number of tunnels. And yes, this, you can see that went from the 1.5 range down to that 2.2, and it was just a steady down from 96 on. Our last year making money was 97. We made 141,000. That was the last time we were above. Minus 19, 18, plus 43, plus 195, go back the full 22 years to 1992, or 24 years to 1992. And we are looking at, well, it was 96 that I meant. So that is 92, 93, 94, 95, 96 was our last profitable year. You can't win that way. You can't win that way. These are the reasons we lost. Is there a way to do max chaos without all those bridges, without all those tunnels? Yes. Shorter ones would be required, more thought out ones. But that's not the chaos. The chaos is just, this is the easiest way to lay this, and the next line can roll around it. Things to consider. How to take and change Max Chaos's rules for next time round. And there will be rules that will be dedicated out, guys. I'm Cali Jack. The Max Chaos run is over. Whoa, the buses were making money? Buses are loss leaders. How were they making... We were making more money on buses than trains and trucks, and with trucks that weren't moving hardly at all for the oil wells and such. Boy, we really goofed up. So the final score once more. Negative balance, negative net wealth, negative op profit. On those three criteria, we lost. Time, did we make it to 2025? No, we lost. So it comes down to the fifth point. Style. Did Max do it with style, more style than Fix-It did? That's the question. I'm going to actually put that one to vote on Sunday. That'll be a poll on Sunday. We'll put it up after we get feedback on which game I should be playing next. A Pack 64. Should I do another Pack 128? Give you a pretty one in like the British, Japanese, or German packs? Should I do a Pack 192, the silly version of the game? Slightly even better graphics, but silly in the way the cargoes are and how you make money. And the vehicles are totally different too. Would you rather see SimCity? SimCity 4, I've got that one. Maybe you want to see me take a try at Factorio and finish that Factorio run. See if I can beat Factorio. I don't think I can, and we'd have to have rules. I'm Cali Jack. The 20-minute mark is here. Max Chaos has failed to make it to the finish line. Have a better day than Max is having.